24/7, 365, and available worldwide on the internet. This is the #1 talk show online, the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Show.
Yes, indeed. It is the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast. We are coast to coast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, TalkShoe, as well as our website at jiggyjaguar.com. We are going to go to Barbara Charis, who is going to join us here in just a few moments. She is tremendous, and she's right up our alley today. So it should be a fun one. So we are going to go to Barbara Charis, Babs Charis, as I call her. I call her Babs for short. Good old Barbara Charis. And I believe we may have Barbara Charis joining us here in just a few seconds. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see what happens here. Maybe not. Maybe they got to her. Maybe they took her down.
Hi, this is Barbara Charis. To reach my cell phone, please leave a message. I'll get back to you ASAP. Thanks for calling.
At the tone, please record your message.
Damn
When
it.
you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Barbara, it's James giving you a call for your interview. Give me a call back. 620-402-0878. And I'll talk to you later, my friend. So, let's do this. Let's jump up the good foot and do the bad thing, as they say. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means to play us out, as Bill O'Reilly would say. So, let's do this. Let's go to Niall Nickel. A pre-taped Niall Nickel piece. And we will throw that into the mix. And we'll get Barbara on, hopefully. So let's go to Niall. Back here with Niall Nickel, and you can find Niall on Twitter.
I'm an author by trade. I have a book out called The Legacy Letters. It's won a number of national awards, and it's a book about how to live life to the fullest. It's a series of fictional letters written by a father who never lived to see his kids, and these letters become their practical, moral, spiritual guidebook, and it's been a hoot and a holler. It's been out for a few years, and I've had a blast being on all sorts of interviews, of course, talking about it, but just about life in general, and how to live it to the fullest. So I think that's the high and low of it there.
Fantastic. So how do we connect with you online?
Best bet is through thelegacyletters.com.
Thelegacyletters.com. So
Yeah.
When tell us a little bit about this this whole thing here.
What's the ultimate opportunity, creating the ultimate New Year's resolution?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Tell us all about it. You're the guest, my friend. I don't want to get in your way. Tell us all about it.
James, I'm right there with you. I didn't realize we were jumping right in, but I like
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's go. Let's talk all about it.
All
you
right.
tell me about this book.
You got it. Well, I think in the strangest way, this pandemic has given us a gift to live life to the fullest in a much more purposeful way. And what I mean by that is our consciousness has been pushed, and we've realized things are much bigger than ourselves. And I think this New Year's will be unlike any other in redefining ourselves in sort of a legacy-defining moment of a generation. I said to give ourselves the gift of resolutions that will reverberate for the rest of our lives. Because I think instead of the normal, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, why not match the pandemic? Why not? We've changed as a world, so why not change individually in the largest way we can?
Fantastic. Give us more, my friend. I'm on the edge of my seat. Tell me all about it.
All right, James. So I think one of the questions that I've been asked is, for me, when I was starting to think about this, is why is this going to be a once-in-a-generation or once-in-a-lifetime New Year's for folks to make this resolution? And I thought about it, and I thought, well, who do you want to be after the great pandemic? I mean, here you have the chance not just to make a simple resolution or the normal make 'em and break 'em resolution, but you can create a new way of living your life. And so I think that's the central question we should be asking ourselves. Who do you want to be after this pandemic, and how do we do that? So is it just the run of the, not the run of the mill? Like I said, I want to lose weight.
Yes.
But how about not only changing? We have the time now to reflect upon our lives in a way that we, in our previous 24/7 life we didn't have before. We're just constantly busy. So do we make that decision like, we're just going to go back to the same old, or do we take this time, reflect upon it, and say, you know what, I've always wanted to change my job and get a job or a skill or something that's really going to make me look forward to getting up every morning. Or I'm going to get out of that toxic relationship. Or I'm going to spend more time with people that I really love and really love me. I mean, you could just keep going on and on. Or things to, maybe you want to help out your community more in whatever way, shape, or form that is. But I think it's really, I don't know. I sat down the other day and just really thought about, my gosh, where do I want to spend the rest of my life, and who do I want to be after this pandemic?
Fantastic. We have got a tremendous guest with us today. He joins us live here on the broadcast. So what do you want readers to take away from your writing of this book? I'll tell you a quick story. This is a fascinating. This has been probably one of the most amazing parts when you're not the author anymore, but you become a messenger of sorts. And I was at a book signing years ago in Flagstaff, Arizona. I was at Barnes & Noble, and it was a beautiful day, so very few people were coming in. And I'm I think you can tell, I'm sort of an active guy. I want to be out in front of the table, and I just don't want to be there signing books. And so this mother and teenage son were walking far away. I said, come on over. Yeah, come on. So they came over, the big scary author. And she says, all right, what's your book about? And I told them, and she said, well, that sounds interesting. I says, oh, interesting. Gee, let me get the interesting knife out of my back. And she laughed. I says, you know what? I'm going to do something I have never done before. I'm going to guarantee this book. I'm going to guarantee your reading of this book. So how do you guarantee a book? I says, I guarantee if you pick this book up right now, you'll if you read the first page, you'll turn to the next page, or I'll give you your money back. And you haven't even bought the book. And the teenage kid, he was on his cell phone. I says, you too. So I threw down the gauntlet. They picked up the book, and she turned 1 page, 2 page, 3 pages. She puts it down. And she says, I'll take 2, and my mouth just dropped to the ground. I said, oh my God. Yes.
I couldn't believe it. So she goes over. Walks away, goes over to purchase it. And the kid, I think he's like, I want to say 13, 14, 15, around there. He was still reading the book. I said, I hate to interrupt you. I said, but I got to ask you a question. He said, I never thought in a million years you'd even read the book, let alone continue to read it. And he looks me dead in the eye, and he says, I don't have a father. I wish the guy in this book were my dad.
Wow.
And James, what's fascinating is this book has become a Rorschach test of people's lives, and they will come. And so I've used that line about, you pick up the book and do this, and people will. I said, turn to any page. I'll stand by any page in the book, and they turn to it, and something, just mysteriously, spiritually, magically, whatever, clicks. And one other real quick story. It was at another book signing, and same thing happened. I was telling people, this interesting thing happens when you pick it up, turn to any page in the book, and I could see in their eyes, they're like, yeah, right, buddy. And this woman just sort of trips into what I was talking about. She goes, what's going on here? I says, we're having a bit of a reading, a book sign. What's your book about? And blah, blah, blah. I went on, and I said, well, I said, here, take a page, read any page. And I could just tell she was sort of anxious and la, 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 la. I said, here, just take a quick look, just pick a page, any page in the book. She opens up the book. 15 seconds later, full-blown burst into tears. And I'm looking at her, and the people are looking at me like, come on, you paid this woman to come in here. And I said,
yes.
And I said, what gives? And she says, I lost my father several days ago, and it turned to the page that described her dad to a T. And it wasn't always about loss. Sometimes it was about a guy came in. The last quick story. There's a letter on a funny letter about the art of working, and again, it's his father's sort of thoughts on life about working and how to work, and so this guy had picked up the book. He had turned to it. He did the same. Oh, I'll take 3 copies. I go, come on, what letter did you open up? Is the art of working? I says, no, what? I don't understand. He goes, oh, about 3 hours ago, my boss gave me the raise of a lifetime and told me I was the best worker he had ever had. And so I lay down the gauntlet for your readers. Pick up the book, pick it to go to any page, and have at it, because it's wild. I've never experienced anything like it. And like I said at that point, I'm not the author anymore. I'm just the messenger.
That is tremendous. So,
James,
yes, go ahead.
I think it's because, and here's part of the reason. So, a little bit of a background. I worked in feature films in Los Angeles. I got my degree in filmmaking, UCLA, got into feature film world, and, the bright lights and all the wild stuff that goes with it. Well, I had a spiritual burnout, and I ended up sort of going back to my roots. My granddad had a small ranch up in Washington State when I was growing up, so I ended up on a ranch out in the bloody middle of nowhere in southern Arizona. I mean, the nearest 3-bar town was 20 miles by dirt road. So, I mean, for any of you who have ever lived way out in the boonies, you know what that means. And so I worked as a cowboy, as a sole hand on this ranch, by myself, isolated, and I had written several books in my early 20s, and here I was in my mid-30s. I was having an early midlife crisis, which is the best time to have them early on. And this book, these letters appeared, and this person, all this stuff started happening. And so here it was. This was my chance to sort of meet myself and say, what are you about, man, and where do you want to go with this life? And it took years on that ranch in isolation, sort of like a modern-day Walden Pond, to write this thing. And I think because of the tearing down of oneself, the being naked to oneself, stripping oneself down to the core, I think that's what resonates in the writing, and that's what people, they go, wow, this is a brutally honest work, that brings something out in them. So that's why I say it's sort of a Rorschach test.
It is amazing. So, how do we connect with you on social media?
Oh, social media. Hey, I will tell you another interesting part of this book.
Go ahead, brother.
So, yeah, there's just all sorts of fun stuff here. So what I started getting bored of doing book signings. I know it sounds a bit like, well, that's got to be rough, but it wasn't just that. I love to be outdoors. Anytime I can be outdoors, I thought, well, wait, why can't you combine doing something outdoors and then doing a book signing? I said, wait a second, you like to ride horses, why don't you do a book signing on a horse? Hey, why don't you do something even wilder and do the first ever ebook signing on the back of a horse at a Barnes & Noble? So guess what? I did it. And I created these series of first ever book signings. And people say, well, why are you doing this? I said, well, I want to walk the talk of the book. If the essential message behind the book is you got to go out and find a way to live life to the fullest, well, I wasn't living life to the fullest just signing books inside a bookstore. I want to be outside and do it. And so I ended up doing a book signing on top of Mount St. Helens, first ever book signing on a volcano. I did the first ever modern day whistle stop book tour on Amtrak on the entire East Coast. So I do book signings on the train. I did one on a glacier up in Alaska. On river rafts, you name it. So I started taking my film background and filming all these and having a hoot of a time. So I created CarewTube. So if you type up CAREW Tube, you will come up and you will see these first ever book sightings. And then I said, well, what the heck? I want to get kids excited. And so I came up with the I Love to Read series, where I'm taking the book. Once again, let's start with being on horseback. And the first one I ever did, it was on the horse I got married. Not married to, but got married on the back of. I'll be reading the book. I say, I love to read and I love to ride. Now, I spurred the horse and off we go. Well, in this particular episode, and these are only like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long, the horse farted every single take, and you could hear it out loud. And so I started this whole I Love to Read series for kids to be excited about, like, why? What's that guy doing? He's playing putt-putt. He's in part of the Parthenon. He's river rafting. He's fly fishing. He's doing it. He's driving a big rig. It doesn't matter. So it's all about getting kids sort of like, wow, that's different, and combining reading. So that's got the 1 million+ views and on YouTube. So to answer your question in the longest way imaginable, you can go to YouTube, check out CarewTube, of course, Facebook and Instagram and all these others. Hey, and lastly, to get kids excited too, we created the world's largest handwritten thank you letter, and we sent it in the world's largest envelope with the world's largest stamp to commemorate a day. I created National Thank You Letter Day 3 years ago on November 14th, and we sent that through the post office. And so we're waiting for Guinness Book of World Records off of it. So we're in the process of doing that. But that was to get kids excited about writing thank you letters. So that's all I got. No, that's not really all I got, but I got more.
That is a hell of a deal, my friend. You have got quite the deal here. So what has been the feedback on the whole book signing on mountains and things?
There people. Well, the first thing they look at you like, seriously, I remember the book signing on top of Mount St. Helens, and you put the news out there. I mean, it's an official book signing, and you hope someone will show up. Well, usually what happens is there's people up there, and you bring your books up, and you're saying, we're having a book signing, and they're going, what? You're having a book signing? And then you bring the book out, and usually I always have a banner. And I bring the banner out, and it all looks legit. And I said, hey, if you stick around for a few minutes, we're going to have a live radio broadcast, which we did with a station in Seattle. And so people are like, this is nuts, and they love it. They just love it. And the videos are fun, and they're all, it's all the way just to get people, like, asking the question, why are you doing this? And then I get to go into my whole spiel like I'm doing right now.
It is tremendous. I just don't even know where to begin with some of this. You are amazing.
Well, thanks, Dan. But it's so. Oh, hey, I did a book. Oh, and there's a couple other parts to it. One is I always make sure I pay it forward. So whenever I do the book signing, and if I'm selling books there's always a charity component. Whatever that may be. I did a book signing, the first ever book signing while stomping grapes. And I did it up in Washington near a winery near San Michel Winery in Woodinville. And it was funny because I did the whole thing. I got in, I was in my jeans, and they washed me down, and I get in this thing, and you never know what's going to happen. because it's never been done before. Man, I sank right up to my huevos, and I was like, wow, that's really cold. And then you've got to like stomp, and you've got and sign books. So that was stomp and sign, and we sold like, I want to say, about $2,000 worth of books, and the profits went to the Seattle Children's Hospital and something else. So yeah, it's that part's fun too. So it's always a pay it forward.
Stomp and sign. That is tremendous.
Wild stuff, huh?
That is tremendous. Well,
Yeah.
You've got quite the background here. I have got several shows that I would like to get you on with various hosts. Shoot me an email sometime this evening, and
Okay.
let's see what we can do about getting you on some more programming, because these stories are just amazing. I would love to have you do more stuff with us.
Oh, dude, that's fine. And I have to tell you, anytime I do an interview, I always look up to see what I'm getting myself into.
Oh, I bet I bet those Google search results were fun, my friend.
Well, and I'm just going, okay, baby, we're gonna open this one. We're gonna open up this throttle and let this one go. And I gotta tell you, man, I've had a blast being on your show already, and I'd be honored to be on whatever else you got out there. So yeah, we'll make it happen and connect with your peeps, and it should be fun.
So when you were, I always love when people give me the feedback that you just gave me. What did you find when you searched us out and you did a little prep on us?
Well, I got into and maybe it was by fate, or maybe it was like my book signing where you open up the page and that's what you're spiritually drawn to. But it was something about a porn star.
Awesome.
Yes.
Adult
entertainment, and I thought, well, I think I'm going to like this.
I will. I always tell everybody I will talk to anybody who will talk to me. So we have interviewed everything from politicians to porn stars to pro wrestlers to whatever.
I love it.
So
I love it. I feel, and now I'm just a plain old ordinary author, man.
No. I've interviewed all sorts of authors, Dean Koontz, all sorts of different people. So this
cool.
this has been fun, and I definitely want to do this again. I appreciate you making so much time for us today, and thanks for being on.
Yeah, James, no, not at all. This is it goes the other way. Thank you for having me on your show. It's a great